Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Star Wars The Black Series, The Fifth Brother, Inquisitor, from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney+. Thank you for watching this video or any of my other videos that you may have run across, which I hope is all of them. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews, or just help the channel out further, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. And with all that said, let's get into it. Let's start our Jedi hunting experience with a look at the packaging. Here we go on the top. Hook, some tape, window to let some light in. On the front, Star Wars The Black Series, and a nice window showcasing the figure and his accessories. Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi in that stripe, carrying around all the way to the back. Fifth Brother Inquisitor. Assortment number. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that don't belong there. 4-and-up Hasbro print. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, some nice artwork of the Fifth Brother. And on this side, nothing except that stripe and Star Wars The Black Series. And again, it continues around to the back, which we'll flip around to now. Let's see what it says. Star Wars The Black Series. Fifth Brother Inquisitor. Obi-Wan Kenobi is set years after the dramatic events of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, where Kenobi faced the corruption of his friend and Jedi apprentice, Anakin Skywalker, turned Sith Lord Darth Vader. And there it is in some other languages, so it really doesn't tell you much about the character here, just, you know, no spoilers, I guess. He's number 4 in the Kenobi series. Attention! Don't stick things in your French pie hole that don't belong there. Achtung! Don't stick things in any other language pie hole that doesn't belong there. And don't give it to the babies. Includes figure and accessory. Some more small fine legalese made in China, Disney, and Hasbro print. That, my friends, completes our look. Whoops. At me bumping the camera and the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories and handy dandy tweezers. Let's start with the accessories. Here is one of his lightsaber blades. As you can see that, you know, it's got a really thin peg right here, but it does have that standard like ring around it that helps it hold into place. I don't know how well you can see that on here. And there's 2 of those. And then we have his lightsaber handle, which, you know, it's not unfamiliar at this point, the styling of it. We've seen this style of saber ever since Rebels. And I do have to say, it has some nice deco on it. And it has some nice molded detail. It also has this peg on it. And I'm not real pleased about that. It's going to cause some issues for posing and whatnot. Just difficulty of him holding it in his hand. And I may have to take that off. But what it's for is it pegs into his back, G.I. Joe style. Just like in the show, they store them on their back. And I'm going to try to put the... Well, before we do that, let's take a look. There's the hole. There's the peg. And it just goes in there just like that. And it looks nice. I mean, it's fine for that. I really wish they would have just given us 2 separate pieces because of that peg. It's really not cool. There's that, and let's see if I can get these little short pegs back in here without busting them. And I probably just busted it. Okay, I did not break the peg off, but I came pretty damn close to it. So if you're going to remove the blades from these, be very careful. I don't think I'll ever be removing the blades from this again. This one still has a little bit of a bend to it. But if you do remove the blades and you're putting them back in, just give it slight pressure and twist as you're putting it in, and that does help. So be very, very extra careful with this. And I guess one of the things you could do is have him hold it, you know, by this peg, and then you could spin it around, but that's not really how it works. And for those of you who don't know, this design was actually originally intended for Darth Maul. This is what George Lucas wanted Darth Maul to wield as his double-bladed lightsaber. But Ray Park saw the designs of it, and he went to George Lucas and he said, you know, if we style it differently, make it longer, I can do a lot more stuff with it. And that's how that double-bladed saber staff that Darth Maul uses really came about. And now you know, and knowing is half the battle, and all that good stuff. Let's take a look at the figure himself. I think the likeness is pretty good. There's some slop with the paint apps on the face. The eyes look really good. I'll give it that. And again, the likeness, I like the likeness. I think it looks pretty good. He's got this funky hat. I don't know what it's for. Maybe it has some sensors or something in it. And, you know, this piece right here, this vest, whole vest piece here, is an overlay of, you know, like that semi-soft plastic that bends up out of the way here and there where it needs to. However, don't leave it bent up too long, because it'll take that shape. And again, same plastic here, and I think the same rubbery plastic here for the belt, which it's got the Imperial logo on each side painted up nicely. Paint app right here, some here on the chest, and here up here near the shoulders. Paint apps on the belt. I don't know if there's supposed to be any on the back, but they're not any on the back. And then I want to say the boots are probably painted. And then these pieces, these armor pieces on the side of his legs here, there's that same rubbery stuff is on here. Probably the gauntlets here are painted. Let's take a look at his articulation. He can look up that high, which is pretty darn good. And he can look down that low, and it looks like the dumbbell joint and the neck does appear to be a separate piece on a ball joint. I could be wrong, but no, it's moving. So there's that. Let's see. No real chicken neck. He's got some waggle in there. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, there is a little bit of butterfly in there. You can't really see it. You can see it just a little bit in there. But it allows backwards movement that far and forward movement that far, which isn't a lot, but it's better than nothing. Full 360 degrees at the shoulder. And it comes up past 90 degrees, and again, it's getting on this, so, you know, we don't want it to bend that up too much. Hinge and swivel at the elbow. Swivels 360 degrees and gives you a little better than 90-degree bend. 360-degree rotation at the wrist on an up and down hinge. And it's the same on this side, up and down hinge. Cut here where the chest and the abdomen meet. Gives all kinds of hula. Crunches forward that far, bends back that far. And it will do a full 360-degree rotation because there is no waist articulation. At the thighs, again, these rubbery pieces will move up out of the way, but you don't want to leave them like that too long. They give you that much of the splits. He will kick forward, not quite 90 degrees. Backwards. He can step backwards. We'll leave it at that. Cut here at the upper thigh, and it does give you rotation. And if you work at it enough, you can probably get it to do that full 360. But this piece does get in the way a lot. Hinge and swivel at the knee, 360-degree rotation. And I'm going to call that 90 degrees of bend. At the ankle, tilts down that far. Tilts up that far. And forward-facing pin for rocker. And let's see, here it is. His lightsaber, if you don't want the peg showing out, you know, he kind of has to hold it like this, and that hinders what poses you can do. You can hold it like this too, and that peg sticks out, and it's just really not my favorite thing. Like I said, at least in this hand, he can hold it like that and it'll spin around, but that's not really how these lightsabers work. There you have it, my friends, a look at the figure and his accessory. It's time for my favorite part of a review: comparisons. And here we have the Inquisitor fifth brother with his boss, the evil Sith Lord Darth Vader. And this is the Empire Strikes Back version of the character, which is currently my favorite Darth Vader figure from the Black Series. And then his boss's boss, the more evil Sith Lord, Emperor Palpatine. And this is that very first Black Series release of Emperor Palpatine. Here we have fifth brother with two Gaming Greats GameStop exclusive figures. The Jedi Fallen Order Purge Trooper with the big ol' electro staff, and the Jedi Fallen Order Cal Kestis. Again, both GameStop exclusive Gaming Greats figures. Here's fifth brother with the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and making his cameo appearance from the Marvel Legends series, we have Stan the Man Lee, just to start seeing how fifth brother compares up with other lines. And here's fifth brother with, from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander, and for a 7-inch comparison, McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, Three Jokers, the Joker, the Clown. For final thoughts on the Star Wars The Black Series Fifth Brother Inquisitor, I have to say the sculpt is pretty good. The peg on the lightsaber really pisses me off. I don't like it. I understand why they did that, but it would have been nice just to have a separate piece just to plug in the back rather than messing up the lightsaber. And the thin pegs on the lightsaber blades themselves, it goes to quality control and design, and I think they're really not great for that portion. In fact, the quality control, a little paint slop we're kind of used to, but one thing I'm not used to, in fact, I've only had one other figure that had this. If you look here, my fifth brother literally has 2 left feet. And the only other figure I've had that happen to was a G.I. Joe Classified series, that first wave with the Snake Eyes in it. My Snake Eyes had 2 left feet. So, I don't know if they were having an overrun on left feet the day they put this guy together, or what. Now, I will say, for the most part, the paint apps and the sculpt are good on this. There's a little bit of slop around the face, and just the peg on the lightsaber handle, it just really pisses me off. I don't like it. It's, I won't say unnecessary, but again, it should have been 2 separate. There should have been one to plug in and one to stay as a lightsaber. Ignited lightsaber, rather. The articulation on this guy is actually pretty good, especially in the shoulder area. He gets pretty good range of motion for the arms to go up. And, that little bit of butterfly, in the long run, it may not make that much of a difference, but it's nice to have it there. And that's, becoming more and more standard for Black Series. And, I'm glad of that. Now, I'm not really going all out for the Obi-Wan series figures. In fact, I'm not getting any of the Obi-Wans. I'm not getting the Darth Vader because he's already... I don't even know if he's a repaint of the Empire Strikes Darth Vader, but if there's any difference in those 2 figures, I can't see it from pictures. So I'm not going after that. Reva, I just don't care for the character, period. Wasn't my bag. That's an issue for another video. And now having the fifth brother, I wish I had the second sister. I think it was the second sister from the Jedi Fallen Order game, the figure that came out as part of that. I missed that one. That's when I got back into Black Series shortly after that stuff came out. And I don't have her because I think fifth brother is the same guy from Rebels, but I'm not 100% sure. I would have to actually go back and watch and see which brother he was. But it would have been nice to had, if he is that same Inquisitor brother, it would have been nice to have that pair. So maybe they will re-release her at some point, which I've been hoping for a while that they would. I hope she doesn't have the peg on her lightsaber. And I hope future Inquisitors don't have that same issue with that peg on their lightsabers. I really, 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 really not real happy with that. And I'm not sure what I think there's 2 more coming. One, the female with the short head tails, and the Grand Inquisitor. And I really, really hope they don't have this lightsaber peg issue. It would really piss me off if they just gave them all the same exact lightsaber, which I'm afraid is probably what they're going to do. But again, you know, there's good and bad with this guy. Again, the sculpt, and for the most part, the paint is good. He looks nice for a bad guy. And it's just that I guess y'all can tell that's my biggest gripe, is that peg on the lightsaber handle. It's just really not. And I know it's not the first time we've had a peg on a lightsaber handle, but usually they're pretty small and not right in the middle of the lightsaber. Whereas this one is the exact opposite of that. It's big and it's right in the middle of the lightsaber. And again, I don't know if they meant that for the spinning stuff, but you know, it doesn't spin like that anyway. So goes to show what I know about sculpting figures, I guess. So, and then there's the 2 left feet. Well, that, my friends, does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews, or just help the channel out further, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.